T20 World Cup. But ahead of the all-important match, the Pakistan Cricket Board and even former Pakistani players are throwing a royal tantrum. It all started after Asian Cricket Council Chief Jai Shah said that India will not travel to Pakistan for next year's Asia Cup and that the tournament will be shifted to a neutral venue. Taking exception, the Pakistan Cricket Board claimed Jai Shah had made the comments without any discussion or consultation. PCB said the overall impact of such statements have the potential to split the Asian and international cricketing communities and could even impact Pakistan's visit to India for the ICC Cricket World Cup next year and future ICC events in India. Adding fuel to fire, former Pakistan cricketer Kamran Akmal called for Pakistan to boycott the match against India on Sunday.
मैं तो ये कहूंगा कि पाकिस्तान को उनके साथ किसी इवेंट में नहीं खेलना चाहिए, चाहे आईसीसी का हो चाहे एशिया कप का हो। अभी जो 23 को मैच है, अगर वो वापस नहीं लेते स्टेटमेंट, तो 23 को भी मैं कहूंगा कि नहीं खेलना चाहिए।
Reacting sharply to Pakistan's World Cup pull-out threat, Sports Minister Anurag Thakur said India can't be ignored.
अगले साल विश्व कप भी होगा और दुनिया भर की टीमें भी खेलेंगी, क्योंकि भारत को आज कोई किसी क्षेत्र में नकार नहीं सकता। भारत कि यहाँ पर खेलों को और विशेष तौर पर क्रिकेट जगत भारत के अलावा क्या है, भारत का एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान है क्रिकेट जगत में।
While fans from both sides of the border and across the world are waiting with bated breath for the India-Pakistan clash, will Pakistan's tit-for-tat attitude cast a shadow on the sport?
All right, let me go across to senior journalist, sports writer and commentator Ayaz Memon, who's joining us, and also Rizwan Haider, former Pakistan cricketer, will also be joining us. Ayaz, how much of this is a real threat, something that we should take seriously, or is this a bluff that India needs to call out? Because at the end of the day, it's not easy to pull out of an ICC tournament game.
Jaka, I don't think they'll pull out that threat. I don't think is serious enough to pull out from the World Cup, but from the ODI World Cup next year, we'll have to wait and see. They put out a strong statement, PCB, as you know. So, obviously they are smarting, and there's a lot of ill will or a lot of heartburn which is happening there right now. A lot of, I think, anger, if I might say so. Mm-hmm. But I think that this World Cup, I don't think there's an issue. But subsequently, what happens, we'll have to wait and see.
But what are the penalties? Rizwan Haider is also joining us. What is the penalty for any country, for whatever non-cricketing reasons it decides to pull out of an ICC tournament? And I think I want to underline that. The World Cup, One Day World Cup next year is an ICC designated tournament. It's an ICC overseen tournament. What is the penalty usually for pulling out of matches?
Well, I don't think this is going to happen, and this matter will be solved through negotiations. And look, after what Jai Shah said, Ramiz Raja, chairman of PCB, he has to issue a press release. And the points that he mentioned, they make sense. First of all, he said that when this decision was taken, that next Asia Cup 2023 would be held in Pakistan, Jai Shah or any other member of Asian Cricket Council, they have not raised single question, no reservation at all, that why it should held in Pakistan. All of a sudden, like without either, like it should have been, look, if there is some meeting of Asia Cup or Asian Council is going on, all the members are available and Jai Shah is there. Had he raised this question there, it makes sense. Like he's behaving like dictator.
But Rizwan Saab, एक छोटी सी बात, एक तो I don't think he said we will not play Pakistan. I think he said we will play at a neutral venue. And that has been the case for the last many years, including हाल ही में we played Asia Cup in Dubai. उसमें कोई ऐतराज किसी को नहीं था. We're going to play the World Cup in Australia. Again, किसी को कोई ऐतराज नहीं है. So, what is the issue if we play in a neutral venue, as has been the case for the last many years? And दूसरी बात, I don't think it's the call of the BCCI or the Asian Cricket Council. No, this is a political call that's been taken.
Yes,
right.
It's a political call.
It's a political call.
No, you mentioned rightly.
Ji.
Because it is the right of Pakistan to play cricket in Pakistan. Why not? Because there's no security concern at all. All top teams, they have toured Pakistan recently. All countries, England, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand is coming after a couple of months. and other Asian countries, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, you name it, all the countries, they are touring Pakistan on regular basis. There is no security issue at all. When there is
रिजवान
no
साहब,
security
रिजवान साहब,
issue
as
at
you
all,
said, ये तो पाकिस्तान का प्रेरोगेटिव है कि आप खेलिए मैचेस, आप होस्ट कीजिए मैचेस, whichever country wants to come there can play, उसमें कोई एतराज नहीं है. The issue is India also has as much right to decide where it wants to send its teams to. For whatever reason, I'm not getting into the reasons, but for whatever reason, if the government of India feels it's not safe to send the Indian team to Pakistan, then there's nothing the BCCI or the Asian Cricket Council can do about that, na?
No, it makes sense if India does not want to come. Like if they ask from the government and government says, no, we're not going, then obviously PCB, they're going to take decision too. They're going to take some hard decisions too, which is not right for the game because only 6, 7, 8 countries, like they play cricket. It's not like football, like 32 or more countries are playing in a World Cup. Only 6, 7 countries are playing cricket. And if somehow the government does not allow Indian team to go to Pakistan, then Ramiz Raja, he's a former cricketer, captain of Pakistan cricket team, current chairman. He has to take some bold stance.
So, Ayaz, again, I come back to that question. Ayaz Memon, I come back to that question. Yes, Rizwan Saab is saying that Ramiz Raja has to take a hard call. But what are the costs for that hard call? Do you realistically see Pakistan not sending their team to India, or that India-Pakistan game, if at all their paths cross in the World Cup, One Day World Cup next year, that game will not happen at all? What about the possibility of a neutral venue?
Look, I think when the World Cup, T20 World Cup is concerned, I think I don't think there'll be an issue. I think there'll be a lot of discussions going on, and there'll be words exchange, war of words. But I think the match will happen, weather permitting. Weather in Melbourne is not very happy now, or not very encouraging. But where the Asia Cup is concerned, I think that the issue is that it's about a year away. Now, what was the trigger to say it now that we won't participate in the Asia Cup next year?
For the
is
2023
a good question.
Which is going to held in India.
Yeah, I'm asking about the One Day World Cup, next year's One Day World Cup.
Yeah, next year's One Day World Cup is what they're saying is that in case if India pulls out of the Asia Cup, we will not come for the ODI World Cup.
Correct.
Now, I think there's a lot of time. 1 year, the Asia Cup is in September next year. There's a lot of time. I think there's scope for a lot of negotiations, whether it should be played in a neutral venue. Ultimately, the Asian Cricket Council is also, in a way, I mean, the secretary of the BCCI, Mr. Jai Shah, is also the chairman of the Asian Cricket Council. So that is also under his purview. And I don't think he would not want the Asia Cup to be held. Now,
again, two parts. Ayaz, two parts.
Yeah.
One, the decision not to send the Indian team to Pakistan is not something taken by the BCCI or by the Asian Cricket Council.
Exactly.
It's a political call, right? So I don't think Jai Shah can do anything about the political call. And two, to be fair to him, I don't think he said we won't play. All he said was we'll play in a neutral venue, as has been the case for the last number of years now, right? So why is that such a problem?
I think what has happened is that Pakistan Cricket Board and the Pakistan government feels that they are trying to restore normalcy in their cricket engagements. They've got a lot of teams coming into Pakistan, Australia, so many, Sri Lanka, and so many other countries have gone there. And therefore, it's all right to have a major event there. And if this does not happen, then it's a major setback for Pakistan cricket. And that's their, that's their concern, that's their compunction. And they will obviously contest that. Now, whether it can be negotiated and a settlement reached, remember this Asia Cup could have gone to Sri Lanka, could be played in Bangladesh, wherever. There are so many other Asian countries, possibly UAE also. Now, whether that happens or not is to be seen. But what's interesting is that it's come out at this point in time with India and Pakistan poised to face each other in the World Cup of the T20. And what could be the trigger? What was the trigger? Is something that can only be speculated on.
No, so as I understand, Rizwan Haider Saab, if a country pulls out of an ICC tournament, there's a penalty. The team gets docked points. अगर कमरान अकमल कह रहे हैं कि 23 के जो मैच आ रही हैं उससे पाकिस्तान को पुल आउट करना चाहिए, you end up losing points. That could hurt your team. It could hurt the chances of your team progressing to the elimination part of the tournament.
Well, it is not, the practical way, to be very honest. But you have to look at the things from PCB's perspective. Next year, it's Asia Cup. And somehow, if India says that we are not coming to the Asia Cup, and after 2 months, it's World Cup. And somehow, if Pakistan goes to the World Cup, after 2 years, there's a Champions Trophy in Pakistan. That is ICC tournament. What is the guarantee that India going to come again? Again, India going to say that we are not coming to Pakistan. It means that though we know that India is the richest board of the world, but if there should be same rules for both the countries. If India is not coming, we are not asking for a bilateral series. We're not playing bilateral series from quite a while now.
Yeah.
It's a tournament where other countries are also participating. But if India is saying that we are not coming to Pakistan for the ICC event or for the Asia Cup, then Pakistan also holds the right to say the same.
No,
Yes,
no,
there would be
but
consequences. We know it.